Is the center of attention, whether it's in your family or at work. There tends to be somebody who requires a lot more attention than everybody else and can be a source of chaos and upheaval. So, because I'm working with families, that's where my focus is going to be tonight. Imagine, if you will, this is to give you a visual of what happens when people find themselves doing that dance around the person who's kind of out of control. So, imagine, if you will, a raft bobbing around in the middle of the ocean. And there's one person on the raft, and that person's either jumping around and having a really good time, dancing around the raft, or maybe totally out of control, having a tantrum, screaming, punching into the air, whatever it is. And now a person is invited up onto the raft to make sure that that raft does not capsize, that it doesn't tip over. So your job is to make sure that everybody is safe and sound. So the person in the middle is doing their thing. And then you come on, and your job is to balance the raft. So you're kind of dancing around and trying to contain this person and make sure they don't get too close to the edge and fall in or tip it over. So you're doing your own dance around the raft, trying to adjust to what they're doing, and you never know what's coming. Another person is invited up onto the raft, and this person's job is to assist you in keeping things steady. Now, I forgot to mention, you're not allowed to talk to each other. Why? Because when this is going on in your family or in an office situation, communication breaks down. And people are kind of looking around, not knowing what they're supposed to be doing because there's chaos. So you and this other person are not allowed to talk to each other. So this second person who came up to help you is now moving around and looking for some cues for you about what to do. Raft is still kind of tippy and in danger. The last person to come up, they don't have a job. They can do anything they want. And what usually happens is that that person does the duck and cover. In a family, it's very often another child who takes that role, because the last thing they want is to cause more problems or to get involved and sucked into this whirlwind that's going on in the middle of the raft and the family. So now you have 4 people on the raft. Nobody's talking. All they know is that they're scared of the person in the middle. Scared of or scared for the person in the middle. So there's the visual of the dynamic that's going on between everyone. Now, also understand that the person in the middle can change from time to time. We experienced this in our family when one of our kids was having some difficult times during his teen years. So while he was creating his own whirlwind in our family, we, feeling helpless, feeling powerless, would often change roles there too. So when there were times when he would not be the center of attention, but one of us, my husband or I, would be in the middle with everybody else kind of walking around us very carefully. I was the quieter one. I would try to take charge in a quieter way. My husband was a little bit louder about it. So, sometimes we would be like, okay, what's dad going to do now? Or where's mom going to go with this? Is she going to start screaming? And my younger child was doing the whole duck and cover thing. And there's one more situation you should be aware of. If you are the person who is taking charge and fixing everything that's going on and smoothing the waters over and not allowing anybody else to do anything because you feel if you don't do it, it won't get done, guess what? You may be the center of attention in your family, and people are not quite sure what to do, or else they sit back and, like the fourth person, they don't do anything. They don't have to step up and take any responsibility. So even though you think you may be doing something helpful for your family, and in some ways you are, and in some situations you definitely are, there does need to be intervention. But there are times when you are disempowering people by handling everything yourself. All right. So I wanted to give you a little bit of a vision of what that looks like. Now, what do you do when you find yourself in these situations? Of course, as in most things, you stop, just stop talking, take a breath, and consider, what do you really want to happen here? Do you want to contribute to the chaos, or do you want to step back and help things resolve? Now, you may not be able to do anything in that moment, but you can plan for moments like these. If you and your partner take the time to say, well, we know that we have, in this case, a volatile child, somebody who's caused some upheaval in the family, and we're not sure where this is going. Here's what we can do when things start spinning out of control. That's one thing you can do. Or after something has happened, emotional honesty on your part can be really powerful, to come back and say, hey, I've been thinking about what happened the other day. This is what caused me to react the way I did. When I'm scared, because I'm worried about you, when I'm scared, I just want to take control and see you stop what you're doing, because it makes me anxious and worried. Now, that doesn't mean that your child is going to stop everything and say, oh, mom, oh, dad, I totally get it. You're worried. No problems. I'm going to stop what I'm doing. That's not realistic. It's not going to happen. However, you learn to speak in a calm, neutral, if possible, loving, if you can bring it out of you, way to whoever is the source of all your worry. And you become approachable. Okay. Again, this doesn't solve the really big problems, but you become somebody who can be approached and can be spoken to. And that may take a little bit of the pressure off of your child, who, the more you jump in, the more you control and take charge, the more that child is going to step back, walk away, rebel, fight you, the whole picture, right? They are not going to connect. They are going to disconnect from you. And the anger grows and the difficulties grow until you find yourself in a real crisis. All right. Not to be the harbinger of doom and gloom here, but it's important to be aware of how these things play out. So if I can support you in any way with family relationships, or how to handle situations as they start to go in a direction you may not be too pleased with, please contact me. Let me know how I can help you. I'm here for you always, and I want to help you avoid some of the difficult times that our family went through. It doesn't have to be that way, and you don't have to do it alone. I'm going to sign off for now, and hope to see you soon. Please leave comments. I love to hear what you think about this content, and maybe share any experiences. And this could be on the job too. We're not exclusive to parenting. Share some experiences that this applies to. Thanks, and have a good night.